Hey everyone, I am Hua.
And I am Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be in heaven, can be in hell, can be in purgatory, can be in paradise. And guess where we are today, friends? It's going to be a sweet day in paradise. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Oh, think twice.
Oh,
It's just
just
another
another
day
day
for
for
you
you
and
and me.
me
And
in love in paradise.
got it.
Oh.
Genesis. Yep.
Shout out to either Genesis or Phil Collins. Not sure which one
Same,
made that
same,
song.
same.
Same. Yeah, so we've got another season of Love in Paradise, and I think out of the couples that we saw today, one is really strong. one is really strong. I'm really excited about them.
Two. I think two are really strong.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me look and see. Yeah, God agrees with you. Okay, maybe two. So yeah, then we're talking 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise season 4, episode 1. I don't have the title of it, but once you get into it, you'll love it too. It comes on Sundays, which is today.
Does it, babe? Because HEA comes out on Sundays. I thought it comes on Mondays.
Oh, just kidding. Comes out on Mondays.
Mondays. So Mondays, or wherever you listen, wherever you want to watch it. Let's be honest. It comes out Monday, but you watch it when you want to watch it. It's on Discovery, HBO Max, or whatever the fuck it's called.
We have that choice now as humans. Remember when we did not? Isn't just like was a terrible time.
I just saw this meme.
Terrible time.
It was a terrible time. This is so funny. I just saw this meme that was like, we used to have to call our friends' homes. Then their parents would pick up the phone and we would have to talk to their parents until they got to the phone. And that's wild. That's true. Like, what if every time I called you, I had to talk to your parents?
I mean,
you'd love it.
It's what happened. But the thing is, though, you don't have to. My parents would just be like, hello? Oh, is whatever there? Okay. Put the phone down and just call me and walk away. They never talk to my friends. Yeah. So, that's interesting that one had to talk to one's friend. No, they just put the phone down and walked away. I do miss landlines. There's something exciting about answering a phone and not knowing who it is. I would not answer said phone now, but there still is something exciting about it. And remember, like, could you imagine dating? I didn't date during this time, but like, could you imagine dating when like you gave a guy your telephone number and it before answering machines? That is the crazy thing. Before answering machines, you would call somebody and it would just ring forever.
Or be busy.
Yeah. Bam, bam. And so I remember when call waiting was this magical thing that would happen. And for such a long time, my parents didn't believe call waiting was real. And I'd be like, oh, get off the phone. Such and such is going to call me. I'm like, we have call waiting. And they'd be like, well, I don't want to miss the call. You won't miss the call because we have call waiting. I watched this video of these kids using a rotary phone, and they were so fucking confused. And I get it, rotary phones, confusing. But I would love to see more of kids using old technology, and they're just like, I don't understand why this doesn't work this way. Anyways, I think it's such a fun genre of video to watch. So we've got Love in Paradise, which is basically, it's not the other way. It's not before the 90 days, but it is kinda. It's where Americans meet love, usually on an island. But this season, we've got a German woman who lives on an island meeting an American who is a digital nomad. Then we've got an American who's bi-coastal and goes to Colombia. We have one Colombian and one Brazilian. They freaking love Brazil. Like these passport bros and fucking international dating boo-boos love South America. They love Colombia and they love Brazil. Period. Point blank.
And Panama,
Yeah. I mean, but we have a lot of people from Brazil and a lot of people from Colombia. Like,
you're right.
Specifically. So it is just really interesting. This is like not the same because first season was Dominican Republic. It was Barbados. It was actual islands. So when I think of paradise, not to say that Colombia isn't paradise, not to say that Brazil isn't paradise, I'm just saying when I think of paradise, I think of an island. And so it's very interesting now that they've changed it from that. So really, I think they're trying to fraud us, but the Colombian and Brazilian people, to me, that is just before the 90 days. Hot take. It's before the 90 days, depending on if the person's planning on moving there or they're planning on bringing the person to the US. This is not paradise. So that's my only critique of it so far.
I think it's valid. Who do you want to start with?
The first couple I see here.
Oh, Madeline and Luke. Okay, so she's from Colombia. She's 19, and she is absolutely the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen in my entire life. She is, she is
living her dream.
vapid.
She's living her dream.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, for this moment, and it's gonna I'm so happy for this because she's a vapid. I mean, very superficial, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, not my cup of tea when it comes to like any sort of beauty aesthetics. This girl doesn't have it for me, but I love that for her because I think that he's dumb as fuck. And so I can literally hate them both and I can't wait. So I don't hate her because I think she's not pretty. I hate her because of her personality. I want to make that clear.
Well, I mean, she's 19 in an Instagram, TikTok world. Like, I don't know that we'll find anybody of her age who is not into this extra like, oh, I want this thing, I like clothes, I like this, I like that. Like, this is the time for all of that. She also looks better with dark hair. I think she might look better with dark hair, and I think the blonde is not a good choice. Now, we all know that this show loves to show butts. They will show us a woman in a thong bikini for every in-between scene. They can do it. If they can exploit the actual cast members and show their butts, they will. And they have. They show her butt. They show her boobies. They show her swimming like a weird dolphin. And we see what she loves to do, like basically tongue kiss her albino Pomeranian. And just, she loves clothes. She loves glitter. She has a giant purse that, I mean, it's just like Stephanie and Ryan with, and she's, working out her English,
Yeah, in this moment, she's kind of low-key living the life that Jasmine wanted Gino to provide, which was to never really come to America, but get her a really like intense apartment and pay for a dog. And he did most of those things, but only for a month, that apartment. But yeah, so she's like, I met Luke and Luke is so rich and he pays for everything, like this apartment, my boobies, this dog. And she says, yeah, she loves her life. Luke is from
lucky.
Luke is from LA. We look at Luke. Luke is dressed like Tim or something from he had one gold like dangly earring on. He says that he's a mining engineer.
He also said that he was unique, which is so not true. You're like every no money having wannabe in this world. You are not unique.
I think that he thinks he's unique because of his style, which is like Tim, sort of metro and sort of like
fur coats.
Yeah, like he wants to be like a cool guy, but that's whatever. I want to know more about what a mining engineer is. He goes on to say that he was making a lot of money doing mining engineering, had a 401k.
401 Clay?
I know. Remember that?
Clary. 401 Clary was his name.
God, it's been so long. So that also in that time, he invested $500,000 in, when he lists the businesses, they are so dumb that I cannot expect a knowledgeable person to have made any money with like a wellness brand, I invested in a wellness lifestyle brand. What are you talking about? What are you like Meghan Markle and you're making that new like American Riviera shit? No, what are you like Goop? What are you talking about? Like, did you just date someone who was an Instagram influencer and she was like, give me some money for my brand? I mean, I literally was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like the lists of what the things that he put money on were just like the most bro-esque, like I'm surprised he didn't say crypto.
I thought he was a jewelry brand. just some other shit. And it's like, you have $500,000 and that's what you put your money in, like not surefire bets. Like, you don't have enough to do a lifestyle brand. You don't have enough to do jewelry.
He had no savings. So when his job kicks him out for supposedly traveling too much to see her, he liquidates his 401k and has to return his car, his company car, which, by the way, for a mining engineer is like a, what, like an early 2000 4x4?
It wasn't that old.
Okay.
But I feel like a mining engineer must be a person who works with mining companies to ensure that where they're digging is good. Maybe it won't collapse on the poor folks, depending on if it's offshore drilling. Like, who knows what he's doing. But like, the fact that any grown man would lose a job for something so trivial, like, is crazy. Like, if you're paying for my life, don't lose your job because you're coming to visit me. I will understand. He spent $100,000 a year alone on her. You don't have it to be able to. He's like, no, I can't leave yet. And I'm like, why? Now you're in so much debt. Now is the time to just jump ship and go to Colombia and figure it out and go be there as a whatever and then pay your, like, I don't understand what's stopping him from going to Colombia besides the fact that he has to have this dumbass conversation with his friend where the whole time he's looking over his friend through his sunglasses because I guess he doesn't want to just do this and talk to his friend. I don't know what's going on with him, like peering over his sunglasses in order to talk to his friend. And then they have that basic conversation of like, do you think she's using you? Do you think she's a leech? And he's like, no, because he's given this to her. He wanted her. So he gave her all these things to keep her.
Mm-hmm. And he wants, when that well runs dry, to continually keep a 19-year-old.
Yeah, he's 30. I think that he was a former like fat kid or something. Like something in his past is very damaged to where he had to like do this in order to get her.
Yes.
She's not Thais.
She's not. I mean, I'm like, if she was nicer or a cooler person, I would be like a little more like, I don't want to like say that she's whatever, but she's not shit and she's dumb as fuck and he is disgusting. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch them together. Like, of course she doesn't want anything to do with you. You like are not it. Like she's, literally a baby. I mean,
a baby.
You bought a baby some boobies. I mean, come on.
She was 18. He was 29 when they got together.
You're gross as fuck. You're gross as fuck and you deserve this. I can't wait.
He's just I don't know what to say. Like the liquidating his 401k. I mean, it's just like crazy. She said he's empathetic and he said she's empathetic. I'm like, did y'all bounce these words around before you decided to do this? Like you guys talked about what you were going to say.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay. He's empathetic. I guess that means so much to everybody now. I'm like, I don't get it. He's empathetic and he gives me money for a whole year. She's been living her best life. He proposed to her in such a dramatic way. And girl,
I love it. Yeah, he does seem like he is like almost like Brandon of Damaged Goods, Brandon and Mary, where he's in a trauma bond with someone that he feels has given him the attention, the love that he needs, even though that person hasn't. That person has just been a young, dumb, like girl who is, like talks to you. But like, it's so interesting. Like there's the way in which insecure men will like glob on to like the first taste of any sort of warmth and then expect that to last, but it's not really love. And you're not going after the person that you should. Like he's not going after someone of his age range that, like maybe, like looks a little like more normal or whatever. Like he's not. And so because of that, he has to like buy this person's love who would never be interested in him, even though she's not great, but she doesn't want to be with him, And so, I mean, the fact that his friend has to like talk to him, I was like, are you embarrassed? I feel like this friend's embarrassed. I know. I don't see. Some of the kids tell me now that like the thing is you wear your eyeglasses like a little bit down. You can't wear your eyeglasses to cover your whole like eyebrow. You're supposed to wear them a little like this. But him doing that like definitely gives.
Oh, I'm not going to. I have sunglasses on because the sun is in my eyes, and I want to be able to see like a normal person. Oh no, I'm not doing that. As I wear my like elephant moo. in my bonnet. I don't care. I'm not
She has
doing that.
standards. She has
I'm so
standards.
mad. I'm mad that you said that. I am not doing that, Chris.
That's what people do
Okay?
now. That's what
Stop
people do
telling
now.
me. Stop telling me this.
But I can't wait for him to get there. I can't wait for him to. I can't. I mean, in the previews, we have one like preview where he's like, "We need to sign a prenup," and she's like, "You're broke," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait till she knows that you're broke, honey." And she does not want to be with a broke, dumb old guy who can't have anything. Like he. And I say this. He must be smart in just the one area that got him to be like an engineer, and then so incapable in all the others. Not a business mind. I mean, a science mind is not a business mind, is definitely not a social mind, so I'm
Mm-mm.
so sure that he made a bunch of money and then used the money, which was the first good thing in his life that he could trade on, because it wasn't ever going to be looks. He used the money that he got to then doll out to people. I am sure that all the brands he invested in were people that he wanted to hang out with.
Oh my God. Let's tear him down later. Let's move on to Annie and Kyle, which is going to be so great.
I know it. I know it.
Okay. For those of you guys who don't know Malta, let me tell you, I didn't know Malta until maybe about 11, 12 years ago. It's because I had a fabulous friend in karaoke named Kat, and Kat was Maltese. And so she told me about Malta, and I was like, "Where in the hell is that?" And she was like, "Oh my God, it's the Mediterranean." Blah, blah, blah. And she's beautiful, right? She's beautiful. So then I thought we were gonna meet somebody who was from Malta. We did not. We met two just regular ass looking people. Okay, just both of them, just real run of the mill regular ass looking people. One's from Germany, and she had to get away from German and their harsh rules during the pandemic. So she took her little son and they went to Malta. His name is Emilion, which is so cute. Like $1,000,000. And so he and her are there in Malta, and she just started to stay because she got a job. And I said, bully for you. Good fucking job. She is on a harrowing boat adventure when we first get to her, and I'm worried that she's gonna fall out of this boat because the way it's just like jumping over these little baby waves is too much for me. And she said that she decided she wanted another baby, and she happened upon this man named Kyle. And Kyle, we jumped to Kyle. Kyle is on some kind of tour bus in London taking pictures of Big Ben, which is like now that we go to London, Chris, and Big Ben out of commission. Everyone else in London, Big Ben fully working.
Big Ben is just a big ass clock. Who cares?
Okay.
I don't know. I just never care about, I'll be honest, I don't care about buildings. Like I never, like I don't know, like I don't care
I
about
mean, I
going
don't
to
care. I don't care either. It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
So anywho, so that they take a picture of that, and then we find out that he has a hard time finding getting in a relationship because his women that he dates, one year and then another one 5 years later, do not like the fact that he has such altruism that he wants to give women the gift of life by giving them sperm. And I'm like, this is so dumb. I can't believe they did it. But then we find out that sometimes he gives them sperm in a cup and sometimes he just fucks them. And that's the problem.
He has 71 kids.
Yeah.
He has 71 kids. And I think it's too many kids, like either thing, we have a population problem.
He's a breeder.
He is a breeder. Kyle
he has a kink.
Annie, I think, is really cute. I think that she's really pretty. Like, I think that is like cute. She has great style. She has like, I love her little pants. She always like wearing like some sort of like linen pant, that's like blousey and palazzo. And she's like, has good tailoring. And it feels like I think that she's adorable. I love the kitchen that she's cooking her meal with Saint Emilion in. I call him Saint Emilion, but it's just Emilion. And Kyle is 32, right? So he's an accountant from LA. And again, he can go anywhere because he has a computer. And as we said, he's gotten real into like becoming the social media sperm donor of the world. Like people now hit him up and he goes around. He's like, listen, I'm not a bad guy. I pay for my way to go to these different places. And I mean, so the way in which he describes the intercourse one, let me just tell you. He fucks them. And then after he's done coming in them, he just has to like leave his limp D in them and then hang them off the side of the bed so that his sperm rushes towards their head.
He's
for
not even.
15 minutes.
Why would these women choose him? He's not.
Free.
Oh, am I that desperate? Was that baby? Would that be that? No, I
Free.
don't feel. How tall is he? Like his like. I mean, and it's so foolish that he's doing this for free. I'm not saying that he needs to charge as much as like I have paid in the past, but I'm saying he needs to charge something. It's foolish. And I couldn't be with a guy who's spending money foolishly to travel around the world to have sex with women to give them a baby.
Yeah. I mean, there's, he also doesn't radiate like
Masculinity.
he's a little creepy, okay? And his supplements that he takes to like have the perfect sperm or whatever,
I love
everything
that
starts
for
to
him.
become the personality of a sperm donor. Like he's just like, this is his thing in such a way that I'm like, what are you? I don't know. He's very fixated on it. And it's like a lot of his like thing. I couldn't be with someone who did this,
And he
like
is dumb.
Annie is Annie is so unfortunately ideal to me that it makes me weirded out that like she's into this. Like supposedly yes. So she reaches out to him to be a sperm donor and they just start talking like late into the night about whatever and somehow like make a connection even though when we see him we're like what? That's kind of weird. But when he talks we're like even weirded out more. So for this lovely German lady who like got her life together in Malta and has a great job to suddenly be like I'm in love with this person is like are you doing this for the sperm? He'd give it to you anyway. Like you don't ever have to be in love with this person. Like what is this
Then
person going to give you?
he gets there and he tells her that there's a point system on when he's going to kiss her and give her affection because he doesn't want to treat her like a sperm woman. Like he's donating. And it's just so stupid.
You need to earn my loving with a point system. No cigarettes or alcohol. 3 points for a kiss. 5 points for a tongue kiss. 10 points for sex.
No, get the out of here. Get the fuck out my
I'm
face.
surprised he wasn't like 8 points. You can suck my dick. How do you think about that? Just like
No,
what?
no.
She, thank God, has the wherewithal to be like, oh no, that's not real. And all this is because you like haven't been in a relationship, buddy. Like this isn't real. Like if you've been
Don't
more
give her points, Chris. She is basic as fuck, and for her to even be with this guy shows that. So you can say how much you like her because you like her kitchen and because she wears linen pants, but I don't want you to side with this woman. Okay, I'm gonna, as a friend, pull you back. No,
I think why I think I'm gonna okay. The only reason why I'm also siding with her is because there's a part of me that feels like she realizes the minute that she met him that it was not it, and that now we're seeing this woman like be like, oh fuck. I kind of feel like she's like, oh shit, this isn't it. And I'm excited to see that they have no chemistry. He's kind of tiny. Now later on, she drops a big piece of information. Did you hear the part in the preview?
Mm-mm.
Guess what? She gets the 10 points and they fuck and he has a huge dick. A huge dick. So when they're at 15 minutes with that limp D in there, it's just a huge like slug just like in her and she's like laying it off the bed. I mean, I get that this is what you have to do or whatever, but like he's a weird one for sure, and I think that there's like some spectrumy situations with him and like or OCD situations. I'm like he's very linear his way of his thinking about the points. There's something about there mentally for him, and I think that his way of connecting with the world is this kind of not intimate life creating, which is going to be interesting for him to try and decipher how to be intimate with someone and not just like the giver of life, like in some sort of God complex way,
The giver of life. That's so funny.
I do think that like when he says he's a social media sperm donation person, I do think that you're right. I think that there's a lot of like breeder kink sites that he's on.
Mm-hmm. He likes to give the gift of life, but he also is just like like that turns him on. So, you ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay. So in this one, we've got Kenneth. What's his name?
Sean?
Yeah, Sean. I mean, it really is Kenneth in another package. Now, Sean is getting his hair done by a lovely gentleman. And when the lovely gentleman finds out that Sean isn't on a bi this is what's the opposite of spectrum?
What's the opposite of spectrum?
Yeah, you know how things are like a spectrum, but then bi something is like
Linear or
no.
by? Okay.
When he isn't on a, I don't know, when he isn't gay, when he's like, oh no, I was married to a woman for 14 years, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I was like, oh. But
Oh
anyways,
yeah.
he's getting getting highlights in his hair. And I didn't know what the hell he was being talking about, but I thought in the confessional his hair looked great. So whatever that lovely gentleman did, he did it well.
He said he didn't want a full weave. He just wanted some highlights. So full weave would have been like if you took all the foils everywhere and just weaved out. You would just like what you would see is just gold from every part. But like I don't have a full weave, and that's why you see like in the
Natural
back
hair
of my
color.
like not like more of a blended or whatever. So yeah, he is a bi-coastal, very, you know, what's every time someone says you're bi-coastal, I'm like, oh my God, you're so rich. It's like my dream come true to be bi-coastal. Like what only because LA is expensive and New York is expensive. Now you can get rent control in both. And that's been like, I mean, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, oh, tell me about your apartments. Are you in the West Village? Where are you? So, but he's worked on like very, you know, he worked on Desperate Housewives. His whole thing is like glam hair. And he starts to talk about his relationship with Aaliyah slash dead name Douglas, you know, from Brazil. And when we see Aaliyah slash Douglas's face, we're like, oh my God, that person's a model. You know, like this person, in both capacities, this person is gorgeous. You know, like in this person's like pictures as like a kind of like a boy-esque kind of like, you know, gorgeous like muscle building person. This person's like a model. I mean, this person's like
Beautiful.
ridiculously beautiful. But basically they met online as they do, and one is very old and one is very young, and one has more money and one doesn't have that much money, and they would just travel together and go to like different gay prides, and probably like I'm sure, you know, I'm sure Sean got like a young piece for his money. He was very into it or whatever. But once they're at a gay pride in Spain, because, you know, Aaliyah slash at this time Douglas is hot as hell. They're like, hey, come on this boat, come on this float. And Sean uses his like Hollywood magic to like get some wigs and let Douglas live as Aaliyah. And honey, it worked.
8 months later, Sean is going to fly back to Brazil Brazil to see Aaliyah, and he is conflicted because he says that he doesn't know if he'd be in love with Aaliyah. He's in love with Douglas, and he's like, the whole situation has changed for me, and I don't know if I'm going to be okay with the situation. And I'm like, well, if you were in love with the spirit of the person, should still be the same spirit, unless there has been like a cheat code unlocked and Aaliyah is just like a different person than Douglas was, and Douglas was quiet and shy and like whatnot, and then Aaliyah's not. So we don't know what is going to ensue, and so now we have to watch this. Lots of transgender situation happening in the 90-day world, and in lots of different kinds. You know, I think that I don't know if Armando and Kenny came first. I think they may have, but then there was also the other Colombian couple with Devante, whatever his name is, and not Devante, Valentine. Valentine and Carlos was like our next gay couple, even though Carlos was bisexual. And so it's just like now this is like ratcheted up another level, and I just am like, is this real?
Yeah, it's interesting. Mostly it's weird to me because I'm like, Sean, you came in hard that you're not into labels and you are married to a woman and all that stuff. And so now since you're married to a woman, you've primarily dated men. And so it's a little bit like, so what's your deal then? You are in love with someone who, you know, like has presenting both. I mean, it would make more sense, I guess, if you were like, I'm one way, you know, but so we're
binary. Oh, that's the word. The binary. Great, thank you.
I feel bad. Yeah. So anyway, let me tell you. So Aaliyah grew up. Her parents died, and then she was like raised by her grandparents, and her
They just got divorced. They didn't die.
okay, they got divorced. But it could be like a death. It can, and I'm a divorce. I'm a child from divorced parents, so it was a death.
Oh,
Okay.
we didn't know you were a child from divorced parents. You don't
Yeah,
talk
I'm an
about it
only
almost every
child. I'm
episode.
an only child. Ever mention that? Anyway, so um she was raised by very conservative grandparents, and by the way, it's so cute because in these pictures you can tell that Aaliyah, like in her, don't know exactly what pronouns to use. I'm just assuming that she is a she now. I mean, they haven't made this clear, um so don't get mad at me. I'm like, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, when she was growing up, she had a little chub to her. And then you see when she drops that chub, honey, I mean, she is like, she drops the baby chub and then she starts working out, honey, in the gym. And I mean, those thighs are thick. There's some thick thighs. Some thick thighs. Thick guys. They save lives, they say.
Save lives.
Those guys.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like wigs we're seeing or different hairstyles. I love the short curly hair though. I think that's soup's cute.
How could it be a wig? Only because we see it like I mean, you're right. I guess I don't know. Because we see it corn rolled and then the curly come out of it. Can this whole thing be a wig, as you're saying? I think didn't we see her like twisting it? Or did we see her like braiding it? I don't know. But it looked real. I thought it was her real hair. But I wouldn't know, 100%.
Yeah, so those are the couples that we had this episode, you guys. Sound off, in our social media if you want to tell us what you thought about the episode. Otherwise, just give this video or not video. If you do want to see the video though, join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get the visuals of what you were listening to. You get to see me in this lovely sort of moo situation. It's short that my aunt gave me. It has elephants on it and it's blue. It matches my nails and my bonnet. I think I look so cute right now. If I take this bonnet off, I'd look like a bald-headed rat, like just a misshapen, like my hair is just all over the place. It's just like mange happening. I have hair some places and not others. But if you want to see that, join us on patreon.com/DocuSweet, $10 a month. You get exclusive content, fun goodies, such as a live every first Monday of the month and the episode as soon as we can drop it to you in a visual format. So thanks if you can do that. If you cannot, Chris will tell you what some free options are.
Well, yes, you can. Just so you know, yes, you will get the visuals of this before anyone else. And then at some point, other people are going to start to get visuals too, but you got them hours before them, maybe even 2 days. So we'll kind of be a little more specific about that. But yeah, you can absolutely go to our Instagram at DocuSweeties or our TikTok at DocuSweeties or our X at DocuSweeties1 or join our Facebook group, the DocuSweeties podcast Facebook group. Other than that, listen, if you are like, these girls are Aaliyah, which means sublime, not to be confused with Sublime, the Bradley Noel and Bradley Noel's junior band that just played Coachella, then you definitely give us 5 stars and a helpful review. Okay, Aaliyah means sublime. Anyway,
all right,
we love you.
Talk to you later. Bye.